since a bunch of people have asked me how I actually made my burn, I decided that I would do a little video. So you can see here, so this is where the burn comes in to the garden, and there is a pipe here, that I buried in. This pipe goes all the way up to this up here, which is, I've basically put in a viewing hatch. So the person who owned this house before us, this hole is like a French drain all the way up to the fence up there. So the whole back of the garden is a French drain. And I don't know if this will pick up. So I'm basically eventually going to like turn this into, I don't know, put a manhole cover or something like that, but tidy this up so that I can always get access to the bit where the two pipes join, because there's like a higher chance that there could be like clogging or something there. So, and then the water also came in here. So I did this about 2 years ago. Just put this section in and the section down here. So this goes all the way down. So you can see the water's quite low today, which is quite handy. But it goes all the way down to another pipe here. And basically what happens is the pipe here goes like the whole length of the garden, all the way down to the end there, and it goes out my property, down into a drain. So this used to just be a boggy mess before, because the ground here, I mean, you can even just see like here, it's very squelchy, wet, clay, peaty soil, so it's not good. And what was happening was this little guy, who just likes to play all the time, Benji, come say hello. Come on then. Come and say hello. Here he comes. He just likes to jump into muddy burns, and so every time we were out in the garden, he was coming in and getting like absolutely caked in mud, having to get a bath, pain. So wanted to get the water flowing through quicker. I wanted to remove the bog element of it for the dog and also just for tidiness, and I wanted to make a feature of it. So all of this, all of the rocks, if we go back to here, all of the rocks you're seeing here, this is all stuff I've dug out of my garden, out of verges and things like that, but it's all stuff that I've taken out of the ground. I didn't buy any of this in. The only thing I bought in was the slabs that make up the bottom of it. So you can see here, so these are a juicing slab. It's like the cheapest slab you can get from juicing. They're 35mm thick, so they're a lot thinner than a normal slab. But the thing I like about them is there's like a fake texture on them. You know, they're not a smooth slab. There's a texture to make it look, you know, a bit more rustic. So onto the actual construction. So this is a membrane. This isn't waterproof, and that's on purpose. So this is a weed membrane that I managed to get on the internet. It's the thickest I could find, because one of my neighbours told me that the best thing you can do is just buy the thickest, because it'll last the longest. And so I've got this weed membrane down underneath the slabs, so it's directly onto the slabs here, and then I've got it up the side and I'm pegging it to the boundary here. Basically I don't want all of these, see these kind of creepy crawly weeds that are awful. I just don't want to have to deal with these. I kind of plan to maybe use this verge for some sort of growing, something that likes, you know, a bit of shade, a bit of shelter with the trees here. So we can, you know, we can cut slits in this later and then plant into the ground underneath. But underneath this, we have stones. So these are just normal, what I'd call chuckies. These are just normal stones that I've tamped down into place, and these form the base of, you know, that the slabs are going to sit on. So these are good because you can level them, they'll stay forever. Gives me, this was like full bog. I mean, I'm talking like 2-3 feet deep of bog before I put these stones down. So this has really solidified the base to give the slabs somewhere to rest for forevermore. So yeah, it's just stones, matting, then the 35mm thick slabs, and then obviously I'm cementing the stones that I pulled out of the garden down on top of it. Okay, so I've shown you now how I have been making this burn. So I'm going to put another slab down here and cement in some stones on the sides, and I guess I'll just show you how I'm doing it. It's not complicated. So I'm going to have to dig out another bit. So I've gone for about a 4-to-1 mix of sand and cement here. So I've got it in the wheelbarrow and I just dice it together first. You're making a cake or something. Don't want the sugar all clumped in one spot. Just turning it round until you're getting a good mix of sand and cement. Then there's a lot of guides about how much water you should put in, but to be honest, I go and feel. I want my cement to be like runny enough that it's a smooth texture. I want it to be bind together enough that I can actually form it into shapes and also hold on vertical surfaces. I don't want it too wet, so I just play it by ear. next step involves a basin of water. But first, we're going to put a line of the mixed up cement and sand into this here. Okay, so now we need to fill these gaps up to this slab and then continue onto the slab so we can bind them all together. So the stones on the side, this slab still would move quite a lot, so the stones on the side weigh it down and hold it in place. Once you've got these in, it's not going to move for anything. So this one here is loose. I want to put it here. So that's what this basin is for. So if your stone is slightly wet, then it's going to pull the cement into it a little bit. It's just going to help it set. What I do is just take the stone and I give it a bit of a bath. And then pack our cement. Set it in place. So there's a lot of kind of loose, not so nice cement here, so I just use the edge of my hand and I form. This bit in, got another slab in, and because I had some cement left over, I just started building up the rocks for the second row around the waterfall there, and this one. So yeah, I think that's it. That's how I'm getting on with doing this burn. It's good, gets you out of the house, especially during this lockdown. You need that, so I'm gonna go and play frisbee with this guy. Bring it here. Bring it here. Target. 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 Drop it.